It's late November and it's just after the hunt, the deer hunt. So right here, the wild ones are setting up their trails for the wintertime. So the tracks, and I'm going to point it right now. These tracks here, those are wolf tracks right there. The tracks inbound, now this wolf is heading that way. The track that I'm going to show you now, directly beside the wolf track, is a young moose track. He's coming towards me. The wolf is heading that way, moose coming this way. So the trail heads through the forest through here, as you can see. Now in the wintertime you'll see a big divot in this trail. They set these up early, it's easier to walk, and they have a tendency to stay on the same trails. We'll follow it for a bit, see what we come up with. So right here, one moose decided to deviate from the trail, so that the trail's heading that way. But right here, right at that point there, and heading through the forest this way, a moose decided to break the trail and go on his own merry way. So as you can see, the trail heads down this hill. Not much of an incline, but it does head down the hill. And through that coniferous forest on the other side. Okay, those little black specks that you're looking at, and they should be jumping around, those are called springtails, otherwise known as snow fleas. No, they're not fleas, they don't bite you. These are really cool guys. They you can always find them superimposed on tracks. It's really neat. So what we have here is a deer track. So the deer track's here. But there's also superimposed on the deer track right here is a wolf track. But these little springtails, they're jumping all over the place. So it's just, they're always around when it's about, 0 degrees or so. Much colder than that, they're not around. But these guys love the snow. They're quite fascinating. This is your proverbial fork in the road, literally. What we have here is we have the main trail running up here. Alright, it's right there. And it's running through the forest through here. Now the fork in the road, so to speak, runs this way and over here. So what you got to do is you have to watch for these trails. Why? Because the main trails are normally specific to where they're going to feed, to get them to feeding grounds, etc., etc. The side trails, like this Y that was right here, this fork in the road, so to speak, they're going to secondary feeding spots and maybe sleeping spots also. They are the deer. This is a deer trail. There's wolf track on it, fox track, and pretty hard to discern right now. It's simply because the snow isn't conducive to seeing the tracks as clear as they could be. Probably the best wolf track I can find for you at this moment. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4 digits showing. This is the track. All right. Beside it over this way is a deer track. Regardless, the point being is my 4 fingers fit within a wolf track. Coyote track is much smaller. So these are Algonquin wolves. So the bark on this tree has been scraped off by the hoofs and the paws of the animals coming through on this main trail. The main trail is running straight up this way, and you can see where the moss has been scraped off of that tree, off that downed tree. That's an indication that this is a main trail. So as you can see, you can tell that the animal is moving from this direction to that direction simply by the mud splatter coming out of the stream. This was a deer that recently came through here. I mean recent, this is fresh. Probably an hour, 2 hours ago. Okay, this is a track of a young moose. Again, he came from behind me and is heading this way. Moose, you'll find, are relatively solitary. Moose don't follow behind each other like deer generally. Oh, they will. But for the most part, they like to sort of go on their own. Don't know what this guy's up to. We'll follow him for a bit and see what's up. This is kind of cool here. So not only are tracks found on the ground, they're found in the air too, believe it or not. Right here, I don't know if I can pick it up with the camera too well. Well, hopefully I can. Come by. Now, moose is tall, like very tall. So he's ducked down and he's scraped underneath this tree and carried on. Okay, I've come out across an area where a large deer has laid down. It's right here. So the outline, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but the outline of his body is here. Okay, we're on the track of a deer now. And right here you'll see on this tree is a scrape mark. That's from his antler. They do that to mark their territories. Well, mark their roots really. But that was done by a buck. Let's just say, out of curiosity, you wanted to know which way this moose happened to be traveling. Now, why is that? Well, let's say you have a topographic map and you're trying to figure out the animal trails in your area. They do have specific directions in which they go. So let's figure out which way this guy is heading, all right? So what we're going to do is we'll take the compass, right? So any compass will work. Now you'll notice on a compass, there's this part here that has like the red little, like an arrow, okay? That is where you want to put the red needle, always, okay? When you lay the compass down on the ground, or in your palm of your hand, for demonstration purposes I'm not doing that, but in the palm of your hand, then what you want to do is the needle, the red needle, which is here, it is pointing to magnetic north. You'll see it swings whenever I turn the compass, all right? So what happens is, what you want to do is you want to put the red needle in the house, what I call the house. There's other names for it. I like to call it the house, it's easy, right? That with this particular deer, he is actually traveling, so I'll pick it up so you can see this. Okay, so the deer is actually traveling 358 degrees, which is pretty much due north, okay? 360 is due north, but there's your 358, so there's your little indication on your plate, and then your bezel is indicating 340, 350, 352, 46, 356. So this moose is traveling pretty much due north. And you'll find that with animals. They have a tendency to travel east, west, south, north. They do. I haven't found, at least in my neck of the woods here, I haven't found where they kind of go southeast, southwest. It's weird. It's really weird. They actually do 90s. It's really cool. It's really neat. Again, the reason you'd want to do this perhaps is because you want to sort of mark on your map when you get back to the house or wherever you might be. You might want to mark on your map where these these furry ones are heading to, right? So it'll help you with that.